How do you feel about having difficult conversations? Is it no problem? Or do you find you often hold yourself back? Hi, I'm Brenda Mailer with See Bright Spirit. Today I want to chat with you about having difficult conversations and how to approach them. I find this topic is quite common with my coaching clients, not just in having the conversations or how to have the conversations, but also in why do we tend to avoid them, what's happening in that, and then from there, opening up to how do I have the conversation. Some of the reasons that I find clients perhaps don't have those conversations that they find difficult is that there's a fear of, how is this other person going to respond? And is there potentially going to be some kind of a conflict arise? Are we going to have to, stand up for what we want? Or, is there going to be yelling? Or, is the relationship going to just fall apart because I'm having this conversation? The other one is uncertainty about the view. So uncertainty about the view of what it is that I want. What is it that I need? What is it that I stand for? Really maybe not being totally clear about why there's something that's not feeling good, something that's uncomfortable in the relationship, and not knowing exactly how to approach that. And so these are all valid reasons. And it's okay if you feel any of these ways. Really, who wants conflict? Who wants to, have to bring something uncomfortable to the table? But sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to set the boundary. We have to set the expectation. We need to ask for what we need. So I'd like to offer you some ideas to consider today. And let's just use a little example you might consider as well in that. So let's say you need to talk to your partner about something that they've been doing that's impacting you. So it's impacting how you're feeling. Maybe they do something and maybe they say they'll do something and then they just don't do it. And you're left wondering well, what's happening or why? And then you end up having to maybe take care of it yourself. And it might leave you feeling frustrated and resentful and confused as to why they might not, follow through in the way that they say it. So, we can potentially predict from past behavior what it might be like to talk to them about what's happening. But we also need to be open to, what we don't know about them. We are not sure exactly why they might not be doing what they're saying they're going to do. Who knows, exactly what's going on with them. But it's more important for you to be really in tune with, what is going on with me about this? And getting clear with yourself of how are you feeling about it? What is important to you about this? Truly important to you about it? What is it that you need? And what is it that you want to happen? So, obviously you probably want them to follow through with what they say, but, really checking in with yourself that if it's something that, is it really important that they take care of? Or is it something that, it's just important to you and it's really not important to them, right? So just checking in on expectations. And I talked a little bit about expectations last week in one of my other videos. So if you're curious about expectations, pop back in and check that out as well. But so understanding your own expectation is a very important part of this because what you're expecting, what they're expecting might be completely different. And you want to be open to what they are expecting, okay? And then perhaps let go of those expectations a little bit so that you can be open to new possibilities and new understanding within the relationship so that maybe you can come and meet on common ground, all right? So approaching the conversations with a deeper self-awareness really helps you to convey what it is that you're experiencing and what it is that you want. Okay, what is it that you need to have happen? You can do this, in many different ways, but the way I like to really coach clients on is to do it in a way that's assertive and compassionate, right? So you're not just coming in, blaze and saying, this is what I need done, right? And then, all fury lets loose. But if you can come in and just, really be true to yourself and know that this is how I'm feeling and this is what I need. And then seeing if they're willing to, and that's the key, are they willing to meet that need for you. And they might not be. It might not be important to them. It might not be in their wheelhouse. It might not be something that they really want to aspire to do. And that maybe that's one of the reasons it falls off their plate, right? But we need to be open to what they're experiencing as well so that we can find that common ground. Okay. So really tuning into your own truth. How are you feeling? What's important to you? Why do you need this? Why do you need to have this conversation? What is it that it's going to bring you? Is it going to bring you some kind of resolve? Let's say it's a conversation with your boss even, right? Where it's like something's happening in your workplace and you need to, address something that you have to talk about one of your coworkers, and it's difficult because you don't want it to get back to them, that it was you that maybe said something, like there's so many situations in our lives when we can have that struggle of how do I have this conversation and how do I approach it in a positive, assertive, compassionate, respectful way, right? So check in with yourself right now and just notice, are there any conversations that you're perhaps avoiding or, just really not sure how to handle, feeling a little bit confused about? Give yourself some time to just maybe feel into that of, write down a few, notes of journal of this is the way I'm feeling. This is what's important to me about it. This is what I really want to experience. And then notice, what is it that you can do for yourself in that? And then what is it that you need to ask of others? Sometimes we might even be, looking to others to fulfill something that we really can take care of for ourselves and just kind of own our life that way. But, when it is a conversation and it's a relationship thing with, whether it's a child, a coworker, or your partner, it's so important to be able to have those conversations because you're just going to create more trust. You're going to create more honesty. You're going to create more openness, and they're going to feel the ability to bring things to the table to you as well, which is a win-win, really, right? So, so check in with yourself. Notice if there's anything that you're, struggling with a difficult conversation. I would be absolutely open to chatting with you about it. I offer a free call to kind of explore where you're at with things like that and how to, become more aware of what you want, what you need, what's important to you. How do you create that life that you want to live that feels a lot more meaningful and purposeful, right? Where you can trust and be happy day to day. Because the last thing we want to do is, feel frustrated, resentful in our relationships and, where the relationships could just, deteriorate over time because we're not having those conversations. Asking yourself, where do I see myself in this if I don't say anything in the next 6 months or the next year or longer? What's going to happen? Is it just going to fizzle out? Or is there going to be a lot more anger and it's going to become this rock hard, relationship, right? So be compassionate with yourself as you check in, as you explore your own needs, your own desires of what it is that you're experiencing and what it is you need. And I'm totally here if you feel like you'd like to chat about it a little bit more. If I can support you in some way, I'd be absolutely happy to. So comment below if you have any comments or questions. Reach out if there's anything I can do to support you. And really just be true to yourself, really. That's the goal. Be true to yourself. Know that you matter. What you need matters. And I wish you a beautiful day. Take care. If you found this video helpful today, please like the video, add any comments below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you'll be notified of other videos in the future. Thank you for being here. We'll see you soon.